Court will come to order. The Honorable Judge Boer presiding. Counsel for the defense, you may proceed.
Thank you very much, Mr. Judge, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, and viewers of the internet. I appreciate you all coming out here, but you know what? I want to save you all a lot of time. Prince of Persia: Sands of Time is a cliche-ridden film. Nearly every occurrence in the plot is a contrivance just to get our characters where they need to be. And the characters don't drive the plot at all, the plot drives the characters. And even the base reptilian instinct that should push Dastan and Tamina towards being a romantic couple is lacking. Or more specifically, missing entirely. And therefore, Your Honor, do what you will with this film.
Well, given such a thorough denunciation by the defense counsel, I see no reason not to find Prince of Persia guilty as charged. I sentence
Wait, Your Honor, what are you doing?
I'm passing sentence.
Yes, I understand that, but guilty?
Mr. Fitch, you yourself said...
I know what I said, Your Honor, but that was just reverse psychology.
Reverse psychology?
Yes. See, you always rule the opposite of everything I say, so I thought I would use that to my advantage, and...
Mr. Fitch, you realize that deliberately misleading the court is tantamount to perjury.
Your Honor, I object to that insinuation. Perjury means that I told a lie. However, I stand by what I said before. But, I believe that Prince of Persia: Sands of Time does rise above those issues. And if it pleases the court, I can supply evidence to support that claim.
Very well, Mr. Fitch. Present your evidence.
Thank you, Your Honor. It is true, this film has more cliches than there is sand in the desert. It is also true that these characters have about as much chemistry as oil and water to an almost painful degree.
Such a noble prince.
Such a gentle princess.
How taken you were with my fainting act, eagerly leaping to assist the fallen beauty.
Who said you were a beauty?
There must be a reason why you can't take your eyes off me.
I don't trust you, and you're not my type.
Huh?
But for all that, the characters are still interesting, if cliched. Dastan, played by Jake Gyllenhaal, makes for a very interesting and conflicted hero who must prove his innocence. And Gemma Arterton as the Princess Tamina... Okay, hold on. As I'm saying that sounds stupid in my head. Because if she's the princess, where's the queen? Where's the king? I understand that it being a Disney movie, maybe they're just trying to shoehorn her into the Disney princess lineup. And if that's the case, run off to the Disney stores, everyone, and purchase your Princess Tamina outfits and memorabilia, because it'll be there, I'm sure. If the supposition is right, or it's just coincidence, I don't know, really. But they call her princess, we never see the king or queen. There's gotta be something going on here. Anyways, as Princess Tamina, Arterton is rather bland. And that's all I got really to say about her. Ben Kingsley as the evil Uncle Nazim is pretty good. But you can tell right away that he's evil because he's got all the evil eyeshadow and everything like that. It's pretty obvious. He's the only one who wears the eyeshadow in the entire group. So... But the one character who is absolutely and beyond any doubt having a ball is Alfred Molina, playing the ostrich racing, government conspiracy believing entrepreneur, and he's most definitely the most fun you'll have in this entire movie.
I've heard all these terrible stories of this place.
The bloodthirsty slaves murdering their masters. That's a good story. It's well told, ever evolving, yeah, but alas untrue.
But the skeletons that we saw
I
at the
bought
front,
those from a gypsy in Bukhara. Now, I crafted our lurid reputation in order to fend off the most insidious evil that's been lurking this forsaken country of ours. You know what I'm talking about? Taxes. Oh, these Persians, with their armies, their fortresses, their roads. Who pays for it all, eh? The small businessman.
The plot of our movie might be every bit as basic as our characters, unfortunately. Pretty much it's good king dies, hero is blamed and must prove his innocence. However, this film does throw a wrinkle into the mix.
Incredible. Releasing the sand. turns back time. And only the holder of the dagger is aware of what's happened. He could go back and alter events, change time. But no one knows but him.
However, just like all good things, it gets complicated. The dagger can also be used to apparently unleash the deadly sands of time to annihilate all of mankind. Yet this is relegated to a background threat because it's not even the goal of the villain. The villain doesn't want to destroy the world, he wants to run back time to undo an event that happened. And that means that this is not even a focus. The deadly sands of time is just an afterthought thrown in there to make it even more complicated. Because between the ostrich racers who are infuriated, between soldiers hunting our heroes, between assassins, and try saving that word 5 times fast, it's not very easy, hunting them and trying to kill them, this is just a background threat that's just there to say, oh, if you don't do this, this is going to be there. Well, it's not as effective that way because it's not a real threat that we have to be worried about. It's just something that's there. And because it's in the background, it's very, very minor. And you could have taken it out of the whole story and we would have had no trouble at all.
Mr. Fitch, so far you have said little to reverse your position.
I'm getting to that, Your Honor. Because, yes, most of what I've said so far seems to lean towards the negative. But that's because there are still a few points where this film does excel. And one of those is the action. The parkour action scenes are actually very reminiscent of the game's source material, and they're very fun and exciting throughout the entire movie. And again, for all their cliches, the characters are a lot of fun to be around. Except for Arterton though, there's just something about her character that just grates a little bit. It's like they were trying too hard to force her character to be the feisty one and make her fit the mold of a love interest who banters with the hero. It didn't quite ring true. It was just a little too forced. But if you ignore that fact, the movie with the characters is still a lot of fun. And the last point I want to bring up is this. This is perhaps one of the best video game movie adaptations ever. Now, there is a stigma about video game movies being, well, for lack of a better word, horrible. And there's a lot of truth to that. There are hordes and hordes of bad video game films out there, from the Super Mario Bros. Movie to Blood Rain. And the reason that these tend to be bad is because they cram as much of the world that they're coming from into the story. And when they do that, they sometimes have to make changes to try and make it fit in the best way possible, which either confuses those who are initiated or confuses those who are uninitiated because they have no idea what's going on. In truth, there's really a no-win scenario on that one. And even some films are so immersed in their worlds, like Final Fantasy Advent Children, which is a cult classic. It's a very favorite movie of some people. It's still, if you're uninitiated to that world, you're not going to know what the hell's going on. When I first watched it, I hadn't played Final Fantasy VII. I had no idea what this was about. Even when I went through Wikipedia to try and understand, it's like, I don't get it. What is this all about? And so that is why when I look at these video game movies, this one rises above all that. This movie is technically a movie marvel. It takes elements from the source games and it weaves it through a brand new narrative. It's not wholly dependent upon the games, and that is what the beauty of it is. If you are initiated to the games, you know a little bit about what's going to be going on, and it doesn't distract from the experience. If you have no idea about the games before, you are initiated. It brings you up to speed without having you have to get caught up and go to Wikipedia to figure out what the hell is going on. And so, in conclusion, Prince of Persia as a whole can stand up on its own. And it's a pretty good popcorn flick, so you can just sit back, watch and enjoy it. Turn off your brain for a little bit. Don't go looking for anything deep, and you will enjoy this action romp. Your Honor, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the defense rests.
Riveting, Mr. Fitch. I hereby declare Prince of Persia to be guilty as sentenced. Court adjourned.